Zai Jie Judan Zoji Jona La Shanja Bada Dana Jasam Dagi Chishi Jebe Zanam Je Dala Ben Indra Ba Jo San Jie Judan Zoji Jona La Shanja Bada Dana Jasam Dagi Chishi Jebe Zanam Je Dala Ben Jo San Je Indra Ba Jo San Jie Judan Zoji Jona La Abada Dana Jasam Je Dagi Chishi Jebe Zanam Je Dola Pincha Sanjay Dreva. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Everyone, everywhere. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Geshe.
Good morning, Geshe.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
Yeah. You hear? Okay, can you hear my voice? You hear me, you can hear Tomchi. Tomchi's voice, twice, bigger than me. Okay, first we do a little bit of meditation. Visualization in front of you. You can see any Buddha images, the Shakyamuni, Avalokiteshvara, Adattara, Lamatsongkhapa, whatever. You sit as comfortable as much as you can. The first couple very deep breathing meditation. The mind, watch your own mind. I'm breathing in and out. Then the visualization in front of you, any kind of Buddha image, comfortable for you or familiar for your mind. Visualization that to focus the face, like try to scan your mind, Buddha's image. Okay, that's good enough. Not too long before sleep. You're too short, you don't feel anything. Anyway, that's a wonderful, happy Easter day. Easter day or Easter? Easter, right? Now this is one of the special, I think, cushions for holiday. I know this wonderful to today. A lot of families come together. A lot of friends become together, see each other. Especially the last years, we don't see each other. We don't meet each other long time. You know, as all the holy beings, what they did something, right now they become for our joy day. we celebration that. Even if we don't enough or able to do practice what they advise, but even what they did things, we can recognize. Therefore, we all get some benefits for everyone. That'd be nice. Then, as we Buddhism always is, we are the Mahayanist practitioners. And as Buddha's teaching, there are two different sets: the Theravada tradition and Mahayana tradition. It's not different, In order to study or practice Mahayana practice, we need to foundation for the Hinayana or Theravada tradition. But that difference is, who follow the first Buddha's teaching and the Saranat. First, Dharma wheel? First turning wheel Dharma. Who follow that, those practitioners we call basically Theravada tradition or Hinayana tradition. And the second wheel of Dharma, training Dharma is Buddhagaya, near Buddhagaya. Those who follow that term, practice that we call Mahayana practitioner or like that. A lot of basics are same. The difference is our motivation. Action is the same, right? For example, when you guys come here today, some people say, okay, I would like to go to today's class. I want to learn something for today. Even people sit on their bed or their sofa or their practice room. They're very comfortable, guys. That here very serious. Whatever you are, hard working. You're looking for something. Therefore, that push to motivation to benefit all mother sentient beings. I want to practice more. I want to study more. I want to do virtuous action. That become Mahayana practitioner. And our motivation say, okay, I want to do by myself to free from the samsara or something like that. And we call the Hinayana practitioner. The difference, your motivation. Therefore, we say we are Tibetan Buddhism, pretend Buddhism, we pretend Mahayana practitioner. Our actions are worse than Hinayana practitioners. Someone push our button, and we just immediately get mad. Therefore, in order to keep our mind peace or relax or very patient person, we need to know or identify or recognize or mindfulness always to faults of the angry or hatred. Is correct? Angry, right? My English is very good. I speak very high level English. You guys don't understand. Is that right? Some English is very high, right? Usually regular people, don't understand. Like India, they're when they Hindi, they speak Hindi, very high level Hindi, right? Normal people doesn't really understand. Even Tibetan, we speak Tibetan, like Dharma words. The lay people, regular people not understand. Therefore, my English Dharma words very high level. What do you think? What do you think, Mark? Too high? I'm just kidding, my English is not correct. Anyway. Therefore, okay, now I'm not talking too much. today is a counter control down, shadow said the pay music, yes, of Chimbo, and the Ryan Devameva, and Shimbaya Devameva. Zamlia, she did also control the shadow set in Barba.
So the anger and hatred are very bad or negative emotions that whenever that unhappiness in ourselves and in the mind of other people or on the whole world.
You guys here, Tamju? Guys, good? Okay, that's good. Oh, today is a tango. So Shantideva Nyamle, so Tenshang and the Tango to Jatish Chimbo Shawal, so Shunchu Chimbo Telelogy, actually, Mewa, but and the teen honey, and it that level to Nigato Zevelega. I can't go to China my sugar.
And so, so the best method to overcome this anger or hatred is the teaching by Shantideva in his Tibetan Buddhist Way of Life, from the 6th chapter, which explains about the patience. So the patience is the only or the main antidote for anger and hatred.
Tendigi and the Tambo Mando control on Shadangi, Nim Hakwa, the pay Nangachamba.
And so in order to have that interest to practice patience, you have to understand the disadvantages or the shortcomings of the anger or hatred.
And they want to Susu Yamyo Rangatonia, Ali Control said the Karachendo. Shadan said the Karachendo, this Susu Yamyo Korea, the Lentoina.
And so in order to understand that, first of all, if we can gain understanding about the shortcomings of anger and hatred, and when it happens to oneself, like from one's own experience, when I become angry, when I hate somebody or something, what does it do to me?
Nimando Tungana Chala Yawachi, Chala Kareka Yawa, Soso Nyoyag, Mumebesando, and a manual Sando, Chibai. I had Soso Nyoyag and Tunja Kaji, Manzaba, nothing Omarva, a manual Soso Chala the Tukmara, the Esono.
It is explained very clearly and well, in the text on the Guide to the Buddhist Way of Life on the chapter on patience. It explains very well about the disadvantages of the anger, hatred, and the advantages of patience and so forth. So if we study that, but if we don't apply to the practice, then it will not be of much benefit. Just like you go out for like a window shopping, where you see the things but you don't buy them, right? So if you just see them, then you will not have. If you only do the window shopping and don't buy it actually, then you will not have the pleasure or enjoyment of actually having those things.
Chance of Kongaras, the chance to Manzo Tamego, Kurukulla, Lobjo Maboche, Tamabu Logi, Kondos and the Hakochi, Nasusu, Yamela Pamajavayana, and the Peto Marta, Pasha the Shagrova.
So if you read about all these texts that explains about the anger, the things about the anger, disadvantages of anger, how anger is bad and so forth. So you read so many books all about that. But if you don't apply that to practice, then it would not be of much benefit to you. Of course, you leave some imprint in your mind of reading that. But if you don't, think about it or contemplate or meditate on it, then it will not be of much that benefit.
And in the Napeshatana, Pechashana, Garaso, Luchila Kali Shujam, the Suzumu to the side, the Bangshane, the Bank of Chavana, that Mupra Lazarua.
So like example, like if you work turn out very hard throughout the year and then you earn this money, you collect it, you earn the money, and you put it in the bank. If the bank goes bankrupt, then you will not get any of those money, right? All those money will be gone.
That's also Kali Japchi, Gom Jap, and each Lobjon Che, Yamisha gave it our car, but the Koros Shuchimbu Savana. The co never such a
So like that, if you have done so much practice, so much studies, practice, like meditation, contemplation, and so forth. But if you, or you accumulated merit by doing that, right? So you have accumulated so much merit by doing that. But if you get angry, or if you generate hatred, then a moment of that towards a holy being who can destroy all those merits that you have accumulated by doing all those practices. Now, sometimes we might think that, oh, I have no control over the anger because the situation or the people, or he's making me become angry, or she's making me become angry, like that, right? So do we think like that?
I have no choice, right? We think that. But they karchini yamarna ngano su so chingandu jalaya susu samtul yamana susu tawa yamana chi susu chi shigalaya chapa shuchumbo yor tijane.
And so mostly that happens because of our strong clinging or attachment to our own way of thinking. We think that, oh, this is how it should be, and our personality or our way of thinking, because of being so attached to that.
Think that? Okay, I'll give you an example. Someone said, I don't like people block my doorway. Like that. Even if you don't leave your car there. You don't have to go out today, but someone block your car and the doorway. Because your personality or your own view is that I don't like someone block my doorway. Maybe that day you don't have to go out. Maybe you don't have to move your car, but your own mind thinks, okay, I don't want that. So you're strong, your own view or your own belief or your own, say, some thought, you thought, right? Example, this is a good example. I'm not saying if someone block your driveway, it's okay. I'm not saying that, okay? But this is an example. Maybe you don't have to move. Or another one, or someone park the car in front of your house. You say, maybe he or she doesn't move 2 days, he says, with that person car. Maybe it doesn't bother you because you can park other place. You have space. I'm not saying you, we have the space, okay? But you don't have to move your car. It doesn't do anything, but why you park the car in front of my house? Because you don't like that. It's your own thought, your own view. Like that? Sometimes, of course, something bothers us, we have to be strong with that. If something is not really important for us, our view, our own belief, I don't want that. I don't like that. Is it? I don't like that connection. Therefore, it shows we have very strong our own view, our own thought, or our own personality or habit. God, right? Then what we say, okay, where the anger comes, he or she's fault, my own fault. We are very good to deep practice or really the thinking is not from the outside, it's from our inside. Okay, I want to like a couple minutes to investigation meditation. In the lyrical meditation, right? Okay. How you arrest your anger, okay? You need to, are you angry yesterday? Once a week, twice a week? Can you remember on the month you got mad? So,
do you remember ever becoming mad within a month?
Okay. So law 말이지. 지금도 law 나들 코드 law 말. 수수샘라 되지. 만딩가 콘도서 가르치는 콘도서 그래서 이까 뭐도 이제도 그야 వచ్చే 마서 무야 వచ్చే 마서 라고다 대용한테 수수질라 수수 싸만나지 그 맞춰 인자. 수수 거는지 무 맞춰 인자 나도 콘도서 그래. 대레 두도 문제 정도 다치 제쇼.
So you became angry. That's for some reason, and you don't have to say it out, but just think the instant, where you became angry. And at that time, usually, so, I was angry because he said something or she did something, and like that, that's what our mind thinks. But then in analyze, about that, is it really true your anger came because of that or something else? So just analyze on that.
Okay, everyone try to first analyze your anger. Okay, then you check that. Okay, couple minutes. You guys also okay? On the Zoom, people also. Okay, have you got it? Maybe Mark doesn't find any anger. Huh? You always angry sometimes? Oh, this is not bad. We are all angry. We are all angry because we are just controlled by the delusions. Sometimes think that it's really work, okay? We study in the book, but not the terminology, church, not the theology, the Susan Majar, and the
Yeah. So usually, understanding from your own experience, more than like just from reading the books. So if you read books, of course you get more information. But if you don't apply that into practice, then it doesn't really benefit.
Sometimes today, oh, Penangandu, Ravaso, Dawachilla, Sojon Tamanido, Tikala, Nebal and Nebal Tolum, Shinjalaba, Dom Charan, Nebal Hako, somewhere, 20 days. You should not check me the killing embeds, or lay. He's not love goddess.
So we have to think about our faults or the misdeeds that we have committed. Like in the monastery, the monks have this confession ceremony where they then attend this ceremony and recite the prayers, and then the abbot, or the captain of the monk, will say whether you saw the faults or not, and then you of course you have to think about it. Okay, yeah, it was this, that's what I had, like, so you have to think about your faults, and then you say, yes, I saw the faults, or I saw those mistakes that I made, and then after that you will say, would you promise not to repeat that kind of mistake again? And then you say, yes, I repeat like that. So there's a confession ceremony where the monks do this.
And then the one of Michigan Nebasayana, the Tomato that you never the Kalashavana, yeah, that's Chipanua Yorua.
So like, I don't know, here in the law, is it like if you accept the wrongdoing in the court, if you say yes,
punishment,
will there be less punishment if you accept it? Sometimes.
The country name, and I do some auto chine. That has on to Kondosaka Karidovna, and it that train dig Suzu down Suzu Pipin Janamiki Maris, Dikala, Suzu Kale Jam, teach my pension as such, give it our kind, but there, and it never chooses social race. It do never never social race, that the name of Soyo.
And so anyway, so this anger is when you become angry, people around you also become unhappy. Yourself become unhappy, and people around you become unhappy. Your friends, your family, all become unhappy. Right? And not only that, but also it decreases the potential of the merits that you have accumulated throughout the lifetimes. And the worse, sometimes it will completely destroy all those merits that you have accumulated. So all those work and hard works that you did to accumulate merit, if that all those will be gone, then too bad, right?
다 계산도 닝해라. 내 공주 계산 가리 좀 버려. 가세디 좀 버려. 아니지 좀 버려. 수 좀 버려. 술 좀 버려. 만들래. 뜻이 잡사임 봐.
We already discussed about the disadvantages of the anger, right? And what happens if you become angry? How much merit does destroy, and whose merit does it destroy, and how does by getting angry towards whom that would destroy that much of merit and so forth, right?
아티 사와드 가다 쉬서버려. 가와 돈도 써봐이. 현당대 실존로 레지아 강이 되고 이제 공도 지금 좀 말시에스 다 가서 쉬서버지.
So that we have on the verse in the verse 1 that whatever wholesome deeds such as venerating the Buddha and generosity that have been amassed over 1,000 years in the world will all be destroyed in one moment of anger.
자, 된소 가지 소소데 아니 지금 돈요도 배 돈요도 남의 공도 또 배시럽지 마셈게 기회서와 손은 기회서 손은 비서 강하게 받대마도 아니 제 돈요도 배시럽지 셈게 사당 좀 해요 말에 쓰는 비송비래.
And so like it says, wholesome deed here is referring to the collection of merits. It's a collection of merits. Well, any kind of merit that is not conjoined with the emptiness, will be destroyed. So if it is conjoined with emptiness, then it will not be destroyed.
아들이 쇼로가 니바데 안에 셰다타위 드바메 조와타위 카투메 에베 졸라 넷텐다 노소 처지 코머샤스 아고 닌데지들 남고래.
Verse 2 reads, there is no evil like hatred and no fortitude like patience. Thus I should strive in various ways to meditate on patience.
되나 가르나 안에 공주 뛰어다 저배 편에 속으로 와 말이죠.
So this verse explains the benefits of patience and the shortcomings of hatred.
나 셰당 공주 셰당다 셰당도 짓고 뭐 전에 뜻을 말아버리면 공주 지금 셰레도 집어집으라 차게를 가지 라당 시행가는 맞지와 줘야겠다. 삼노리의 샘주에.
The anger and hatred, there's maybe difference in the entity, but in it, but in terms of the function, they're similar. Whichever arises in your mind will create unhappiness in one's or other's mind.
다 셰당 따위 드바메드나 셰당 나진기 담에서 비젤 내가 균되고 좀 비젤나 지금 막아버렸어. 대따위기 딱 니바탑치고 말했어. 그래 라체 두어지고 말했어.
So there's no evil like hatred. So what's that?
대나진기 다 라체 두어지고 삼도 두어지고 말했어. 셰당 따위 드바메서 신발에 파지 내가 균데 야나 제나지 막아버 삼로.
So there is no I say like a tool, like there's no tool like a hatred to destroy the peace of the mind and cause harm to other beings.
What expression are you using?
Oh, this one here. This one is from this is I think Tibetan library. Oh.
Yeah.
Which one was this? That's the by His Holiness one. Yeah. I mean these are similar, but it's just different words. Yeah, different words. The meaning is same. Yeah.
One time you read that. If you get this, there's I heard.
Yeah, this one is from the Library of Tibetan Works and Archive.
You guys totally different. All right. No, it's not totally different verses, right? I know this one. but maybe the
meaning wise. Okay.
the meaning is the same.
Oh, you all have that kind of book, huh?
Yeah.
I follow this because it's the English is much simpler on this one.
Oh,
That's for Geshe English.
Yeah.
This is my English.
where one just find that book online or?
Yeah, you should be able to find it. I mean, we have here in the library also.
Oh,
Yeah, but does it carry the same meaning or?
well,
similar?
it seems to. I just.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was just
Sure, sure.
wondering.
I heard that that's very simple English. No. Therefore, the country Shedan said the country can do the chick. And actually, match some Magawan, she could chess on some Jirondo. And you know what that Shedan the Lagus are watching. Kondo said the money, Jingus pitch, some other one, only Katupala.
제단데 들이다. 제만 써야 되시다니까. 그러니까 저는 너무 적어 somebody.
What there was something. Shimuji, then what that Shedan. Kondo said you could then the passage. And the column that Kajidani Chibachibo Yoga.
가족이 즉 수술 나오도 그냥 즉 세마마 교도 쳐야 되시. 그래서 공로체.
Kondochi.
나는 봐줘라 즉 단너버 적어 somebody 시라. So the big difference between anger and hatred. So anger is like when somebody says something bad to you, then you become unhappy, right? So you don't like to hear that, or you're not happy, so you become, that's called anger. The hatred is, and then on top of that, and then you want to like cause something bad to other person. You want to say something bad or do something bad. So that kind of thought, that's related with that thought of causing harm to others. So that's hatred.
Yes.
I feel like there's a fine line between hurt and hatred. So if someone gets angry at us or, shouts at us or something, are we getting hurt first, then angry, or like what's the correlation?
소소라 지금 너무 자오라고 선별하다. 너무 자오라고 선되는 데는 걸어서 걸었어. 이 걸어서는 데는 너무 자오라서. 뭐 너무 자오라고 선별.
One no checking do some lot church. And the Kondosa, and it are part of the check do some called lot.
Yeah, that's true. Like when somebody says something bad to you, then you feel hurt and then you get angry.
Okay. 제자가도 단디나 셔다다고 디밤에서 배샤잖아. COVID 나중에 너블레 내셔 나다고 요 말씀을 치고도 너블리 차용료도 강에 되셔. 된다고.
There's no evil like hatred. So just like that, COVID-19. There's no virus like COVID-19 that causes so much harm to the entire world.
남중한테 배나 cancer said 나도 두자리스. and HIV's 나도 두자. that 미 처음에 나가 말아봤어.
Usually, we say the cancer is a bad disease, or or HIV is a bad disease, but that doesn't cause harm to all the people, right?
COVID-19 잠블리까지 여는 잠블리 차서 다녀와서.
The COVID-19 has caused harm to the entire world, everybody, every country in the world.
그래서 셔다다고 듣고매. 근데 COVID-19 다 나서 메시라잖아.
So there's no evil like the hatred, and there's no virus or disease like COVID-19.
그래서 간단 되게 나서 너무 싶지 제가 되게 딱 콘트루기 님이 하나 셔다가 님이 되시기 그래.
So anyway, this is it's explaining that it causes a lot of harm, and it's explaining the disadvantages of hatred.
제가 코너들 사와이나 아니 갑자기 코너들 매와 잠바금 이제금 처음에 우선은 로소도 말해서 너 띵이도 잡으나들 손을다. 소도가 놓으면 너 띵이도 잡으나야 코너 사와이나 아니 저와금 이제금 잠바까지 고만나 고매와 소도가 말해서 코너대 왕체로 그랬어. 나 코너 사회가 가도 저와금까지 이제금이 가림을 가지 놓고 가도 내가 소도가 뭐.
So when you have anger arising in your mind, when the anger has arisen in your mind, then no matter what you do, will not be able to subside it. Like even if you try to think about compassion or patience or even bodhicitta, nothing will help to subside it at that time.
다 되는마다 대외 저와다고 같으면 저와 나중에 딱 오늘 지 편히 첨부지 요 말했어.
Then they say there's no fortitude. What would they use there? Word, in that translation?
The Tibetan second word.
Austerity. Okay.
Yeah.
So that means like hardship, austerity, hardship, fortitude.
Austerity is like a practice that has some hardship.
Some hardship.
Like fasting would be
Fasting, yeah.
austerity.
Which one make more sense? This one make more sense, that one more sense.
Fortitude.
Yeah, there's different people use different words.
Yeah, but what does the fortitude mean?
Oh, strength,
Huh? Strength,
inner strength.
inner strength. Okay.
Which one more simple, easy one? 이제 잘한다고 나타 저번에 약쇼 말했어. 저번에 약보요 말했어. 다 특대오지로
Yeah, I mean, 까툴라데 가서 까툴라데.
까툴라데 페이지 뭐.
요즘 뭐.
페이지 뭐요 말했어. 저번에 페이지 뭐요 말했어.
까툴 저디 말을 가서 가서 깔리 잡고 깔리 잡고.
시단다 다 제가 저와 약보 꼼데 된대기 내 깔리 잡고 와야나 페이들 셔요 말했어. 저거 근데 깔리 요로 와. 제가 된대기
들까 되나시 깔리요 말했어.
대나지 깔리
저거가 뭐는 깔리요 말했어.
저와기 꼼베 까툴 때 약보지 깔리 잡고 와야나 내 페이들 나요 말했어. 그거다.
까툴 메스 되나시다 깔리 가고 말했어. 저거가 뭐는 깔리 오시라래.
깔리 가오시라 그랬어. 근데 깔리 가오인자 페이지 뭐랬어.
That change progress.
페이지 뭐다.
Yeah, so I mean, so usually it's like a hardship or austerity, right? So it's like very difficult to do. Yeah, so like it's saying like there's no fortitude or there's no austerity like patience. It means like there's no practice difficult to practice like a patience, right? Like that's what understanding. But actually, it means like benefit, so like inner strength, the fortitude. They say that inner strength. So that is really, very strong, in practice of the patience. So, so in order to, overcome that, the heat of the delusion, there's no no more inner strength, than patience.
다 공부를 줄 거야. 안에다 시트가 나도 소리 자고 되지도 몰라. 안에 나타 좀 까도 많지게 개진 좋아. 아니 고가 많이 시대 들으셨다. 다다 이러고. 아니 나타 좋아 나지기 아니 까도 요 말에 대자 쭉 공부도 가디나 자고 맞다. 이게는 사제 고마잖아. 도대체 그래서.
So there's also in the letter to a friend by Nagarjuna where he talks about the practice of the patience. So there's no fortitude like patience, and so there's if you don't overcome the anger, you will never gain in the liberation or enlightenment.
일단 그것도 되다. 저거는 깔려 있어요.
Is it difficult to practice patience?
저거 공약 깔려 가다 돈이 공약 깔려 가다.
Which one is more difficult to practice? Patience or emptiness?
야, 저것도 몇 깔려도 원해 저거 깔려도.
Yeah, that's true. It says here in the text, right? No austerity like patience.
그래서 저거 그런 공약 그런 깔려 가고 연사, 니 깔려 가고 제법 폐대한 폐삼지 맺지 봐요.
So because it is very difficult, right? Therefore, it has more benefits. Right? So, but because it's difficult, but if you are able to practice that, then it has a great benefit.
내가 남는 노트는 나도 반에 셋다 담면서 되고 라깔리 가와요 완자 공약한테 셔도.
It's the same thing like the things that are rare to find are more expensive. Like this gold, diamond, are very rare. Therefore, they are more expensive.
얘도 그런 우리 전에 그런 돌아다 도지로. 셋다 담면 돌아와.
So like it's just a material thing, right? I mean, it's the diamond's like a kind of a stone, right? Just a stone. Why is it so expensive? Why people put so much money to buy it?
세상 가서 될 미다 담면서 또배 막 쉬시보다 안에 때야 쉬시보 소셔요.
Yeah, so people just gave it name. I mean, of course, it has some quality, right? Some features and qualities, and because of that, people just consider it as very rare and to find, and then cause it very expensive.
I think they need to tanto calcolo. Shedan the department or control the Cadena control Masava cheese. They take it.
There's no evil like hatred, so you should never have a hatred in your mind, hatred or anger.
This was Yamno South and Yaman Yeta. I'm going to control the Yamda that moon. Take it. Time to check me do some tests. Yamno on the chick calling into a ta. And Yamno call Tamna, Zova going to pay Hindochimbo. Up the oil guide.
Not understanding that just from the reading here, but understanding that from your own experience. Think about it, when you become angry, or when you hate somebody, how do you feel? Do you feel happy, unhappy, or do you feel like that? So understand through your own experience will be much better.
예, 자자와이나 지나서 수보 지나다 오면 같이 남주변아 그런 칼란도시. 나 오고마 남주 조금만 통과해 봐시. 오고마 때문에 주의라 하고 오면 같이. 아니 니마지 doctor 조금만 더 하면 된다. 대장 누구라나 저 산이네. 조금만 더 잠시하고 봐. 근데 주 오메긴 통이 니바다. 이런 거 가르고. 이런 란체 중앙에서
You have to understand the shortcomings or the disadvantage of the hatred and anger. The more you understand, then easier it will be to avoid it. So just like let's say you've been drinking milk, and every day, every night you go to before you go to bed you drink milk, and then and then of course you started to feel something bad in your body, and you went to see a doctor, and the doctor said, oh, the milk this substance that's causing you to become sick. And you didn't know, every day you're thinking, milk is good, so you've been drinking milk, and suddenly the doctor said the milk is bad for you. Then the moment you understand that it's bad for you, you stop it, right? So that is because you understand the disadvantage of it.
correct. The experience that. 제가 당연히 담보 된 지지자. 제가 가도 공로사가 세단사야 된 가도 소수고까지 시가 하면 소수고 따와 하면 소수고 삼절래야 차박 전부에다 되게 해서 라인 바스.
So earlier I mentioned about that becoming angry. So when you become angry, or it's because of your attachment to your ideas, your thought, like giving an example of somebody blocking your driveway and so forth. Right? So that's your thought. You think it's even though you don't have, even though your car is not in the driveway, even though you don't, even if your car is there, but you don't have to go anywhere else. But just seeing that somebody blocking your driveway makes you become angry. That's because of your attachment to your thoughts.
아데 그래고서나 가디나 나랑 그 삼생원의 전에 노르메 내 내가 듣던 노르메 싸매요 말이야. 가서 노스그리 가서 내가 제단 노스그리 가서 삼로 따다 노스그리 텔미고 쪄져와이나 아니 다 티컵로서 검토 고기 대체도와이나 때내 했다고.
And also, and so therefore, we should not be very attached to our ideas, our thought, and like our clinging to our thinking of how things should be. And we think, oh, okay, there should not be any cars on my blocking my driveway like that. But then in our mind we think like that, right? So our thoughts are always correct. Whatever I'm thinking is always right, like that. That's what I mean by like being attached to your thought. And you can think, oh yeah, I can be mistaken. I can be wrong. My thoughts can be wrong. My ideas can be wrong. And so it's okay. I don't have to. I don't have to expect things to be just like the way I think.
그래서 수수 노르바데 켈토와이나 저와고면 꼭 빼먹어요.
Then if we are able to think in that way, then it will become easier to practice patience.
Yeah, do the meditation. Just try to find the experience, okay? And not just say text. Try to, if you able to say, "Karo, tanga dungo ni pena." 남중도 밀어 고다 laptop 말아. 단 차서 루서다. 고다 lap나야 소소 농수 세원도 안 통고서 영어도 laptop 말아. 간지 소소가 예발에 뭐 간지 소소가 직 놀 갈라서.
그다음 그거 소소 미션달라 가서 지금 로드 부용 처치도 뭐다라 그도.
Yeah.
So we know to the Kim and the Bana.
They love to I think better they love to I think never move my child, not a move chungo.
And so, you know, usually people are not able to accept their faults, right? You're not able to say, sorry, I'm sorry. But here, I think in like, you know, Nepal, India, Tibet, you know, there's like, when you say, I'm sorry, that means like you're accepting that was your fault. But here, people say, I'm sorry, you know, to make that person feel better also, right? So, oh, I'm so sorry, you know, so something, I'm so sorry like that. You know, so when you say that, you know, it makes it easier, you know, to practice patience.
Okay, Shada Television, Tadu Chine, that's Zobanajingi, Shadana, and it got some of your mares. Zobanajingi, pension by your mares, then Maji Lapsoma.
So there's no bad, you know, thought, you know, like a hatred, and there's no, you know, benefit in like practicing patience.
I want to talk Karjodna. Heavy Zola Neten to not so you go for shot. And it didn't say Tevishana, Zoba the subject Nentejinia. Tap not to begin a gombo race.
And so this is thus, thus I should strive in various ways, you know, to meditate on patience. Therefore, I should, utilize many different ways, you know, to practice on patience earnestly.
Other Tabjino, Takanjeta, not to Chewoda. That's also Korosade, Tika Tabja Zoa Karikona. Konosan Mikil and Dry Marta.
And so, like, various ways. I should utilize various means, you know, to practice patience. And so, what kind of means can you think about? Like, if you are angry, you should not be, you know, in the crowd. You should not be with other people. All right, you're the one that matters. Should not get angry.
Nanzu Zola Kaptukono Zola and Komato Tatiko tell your top check.
So, you know, if you cannot, you know, practice patience right away, then you can try to avoid that situation. When you avoid that situation, then you can, you will not be angry.
And in some of the Suso Shokayan on the cheek. It's a chin among the 70 million.
Then sometimes, you know, we like feel unhappy for no reason. You know, and in the morning when we wake up, we feel unhappy for no reason.
Legal best also check.
So at that time, you know, has to be very careful, very conscientious.
Yes, Shewa in a Chulong Row and the courage and the take up some check.
So during those times, you know, whether you're going outside or whether you're talking to somebody, you have to be very conscientious.
But there's no one to talk about.
So those are like a gross means or methods.
It's a chance Jimmy Chundra Shimi.
Do any of you have cats?
Shimi in a Jenda Kuros and the Shimikale, then all come to Quago.
If you have cat, you might have noticed that when you become angry, then the cat will hide under the table or bed. Yeah, the cat understands. So then she's using the method, you know, to not get beaten by owner. That's why he or she hides under the bed or under the table.
제다 투정 알아서 쇼케니 선배티 오면 지 담으려나 오다 드리면 지하고도 삼년 소소됐 삼나스 바로 잠바체네 아니 지 간에 가야 답시고 서로와.
So if you see that, you know, yourself, you know, being unhappy for no reason from early in the morning, then you should be, you know, kind of be aware of that by yourself, and be conscientious, you know, to the things that you're doing or saying, and anyway, in any way you try to overcome or to avoid that anger towards others.
그래서 너무 차두반 좁아서 발라 저바 나중에 펜시 보여 말해서 변했잖아. 너무 뭐도 변해 배차샤와이나 매를 배자. 이게 매도 판 줘야 변해 쳤다고. 아니 저발 배차네. 저번에 요 말해서
It says that there is no no fortitude like patience, you know, to destroy the heat of delusions. The delusion is like a fire, you know, and to put off that fire, you know, there's no better water, you know, than the patience.
그래서 매세하게 잘라야 수도 출해.
Is the water best thing to put off the fire?
출에다 쌀에
Is it water or earth? Mud, which is better?
maybe what's that? 살롬바이 없나? 사카물은 고메 코라코라 바도래요.
Wet mud, right? If it's dry mud, then it might catch fire also.
나 주주가랑 난도 주주가를 리카는 난도 다 샘제 통으로라. 근데 담중도 리카는 몇단 그래. 니마 yeah. When I was a kid, we just kids, when we just take out our one layer of cloth, not that, nothing said that. We are kids go to our, in the follow, take the yaks, these animals. And we do the fire. First we do the fire. Then we talk a little bit more fire. One day, me and our kids together, we will fire with big.
Tree.
Big tree with fire. The fire become very big. Then we take out our clothes. Everyone naked, just try to use the fire catches our clothes. They come more fire. Therefore, even you shut down the fire, you need to be very skillful, right? So our clothes is just dry skin, animal skin, completely dry. At hairs, it's more fires. But where the kids have no idea, we think, oh, this is best. We just take our clothes, we all naked, just try to shoot. It's making more fire. Anyway, like that. Therefore, according to the text, the best object of the shutdown and the fire is the water. It's like an example. Therefore, best method is put down or shut down and angry is the patient. 제가 zopa 누송도 제가 드네다 탑시나도 공고를 다 약쇼대도 뭐네 아침에도 미친데 맞춰다 와이나 zopa 용 말이 대가도 용 도문데 와 그런 말이스 딱 그런 시작은 용 말이스로.
So you have to kind of use different means or methods to overcome that delusion, that hatred, right? So of course, if you can meditate on cherishing others more than oneself, then that will also help to not get angry, not have hatred.
네, 제가 다 대마도나 다 단대나지. 오 수수 선배 찍으면 봐. 야만은 미 봐주대 수수 조보 주문을 찍으면은 나도 제고 되겠네.
So if also at the time when you are not happy, not very happy, not in a good mood, then you should be more careful.
나는 지금 수수 조보 주문 남이 좋아집에 가져대야 찍으면은 이걸 안 수수가 사도 시작해요.
And also, like if we find that somebody in the circle of friends or families are not happy, are not in a good mood, then we should be careful about that too.
This is how to 탑 나도다 탑 추진을 그러와.
Yeah, so just use your means. There is various means to not get angry.
근데 이거 간에 되잖아. 아니 공로 사이에 깨도 좀 제가 말해. 공로 사이에 깨 많잖아. 이 사용 말어와.
So if you do that, or if you avoid that, then you will not meet with the condition to become angry. If there's no condition, then the anger cannot arise.
이제는 지나서 내가 재산에 좀 미칠래 치는 가면나. 밑에 투가 좀 공로 사고. 다때 마투가 탑이 시야대 약속으로 와.
For example, if you have somebody that you don't like at work, and the moment you see that person, you become angry, then the best method at that time will be to not see that person.
Right? Wait a minute. He's smiling. Why? It's true or not? This is the one the best way. It's takaro 가지. 공로라야 그러고. 이어야 그 답시도 싫어.
It's like trying to move away from becoming angry.
제가 드레지는 갈래 드레지는 가지고 겁나 러버마 땡기도 고마요. 아니 다 장아요. 아무튼 남지 공부만 공부는 어디다 코로나 라야라스 코로나 내가 됐어도 코로나샤. 너무 가르진 건 제가 너무 때때 코로나 안 쉬려고 그래서 예바 동거 말아.
Yeah, so that way, so we tried these different means and methods to overcome that. Overcome one time, overcome 2 times, 3 times like that, then it becomes habit. Then when it becomes habit, then it becomes easy, to not get angry. So sometimes we think that, oh, this is natural. It is natural to be angry, natural to be attached, like that. That's what we think, and then we just let it be. If we become angry, we let ourselves be angry. If we are attached to something, let ourselves be attached to that. So that we think is that's a mistake. We don't understand that is wrong, and we think that's a nature.
The chundu bena nema bena nachu majamo yamana chusho chulu lozo majamela echa shadang kondo set chi duajimba tornyoe mewa che gojimba lozo chenyo tom tanyoe.
So we are habituated with that thought, thinking that that's nature, right? That's what we are thinking, and it becomes easier like that. So any of you have thought that attachment or anger was bad before you became Buddhist, or before you studied Buddhism?
Yanachi sosu semne mewa suyaji yawa. Som tanyoe.
Or have you ever thought that anger is something that can be completely removed from your mind?
Kondo de leva kondo de kaza kondo de nganzo chi yapcho songro nganzo protect jingen soro ko language.
So when the anger rises, it arises as if it is kind of protecting us, right? Support in our protection.
Na kondo protected you. And then the cha said the ko hang on the children dig the ko nyeba tengero chari.
Like and then the attachment comes like a friend. Oh, you want this, you want that, like giving present.
Chete kono yonta de zang nganzo mi mambo ge zo chu duaji bata o de mewa chia yo inga somchang koyo mare.
And so because that's how they arise in our mind, and we many of us, we have no idea that this is something that that can be removed from our mind, or that is something that has to be removed from our mind for ourselves to be happy.
That dendra chu de sometime that chu some da tiri ta sanima lap kare. Chu nyagan roba yesa gijela de mambo sia so shama chaji. Su semla ale muni kondo seti aya chiandu yatup chiandu de me. Kondo seti muni nyaba chimbo redu de me. Is samta.
So think about that for this week. Okay, so think about what we just talked about the anger, or like attachment or anger. So is it the nature of your mind, or is it something that can be avoided, or is it something that should be avoided? So think about that.
Okay.
Not just saying that, oh, okay, I went to the class today and Geshe talked this and that, and just live like not like that, but really think about it.
When I told you that Gijela Chun, no one woman does some advantage. All my Doma Kachi, she had Chibanachi, Tapshin Doji, Yana, Shivana, some great penguin.
You might think that, why he's just not moving along, with the verses, just sticking with one verse. Like that. But even though it's the same thing that we're talking about, there's many different ways to talk about to make it easier for us to understand and for us to do the practice.
And Java Deja Zambuya, Java Deja Zambola, Gomolatoya, and Zovala, Kundulas, Kokap Chiantia, your mothers. Kundu said, you want Kokam Mates now.
So, do you know what's the name of the king in the letter to a friend? Nagarjuna, wrote this letter to his friend king. I remember the name. It's called Deche Sambo in Tibetan, but I don't remember in Sanskrit. Anyway, so to this king, the Nagarjuna advised to not give rise to any condition for anger. Try not to give rise to condition for anger.
The Karna Gomoluki, Deutone, Shesa de Migitangone, Kongo Trobo, Tamijayenda, Mijadra Changali, Chasakani Ore, Kalakanis out the Zuchama Timur.
So this is a very easy teaching, given by Nagarjuna to his friend, the king, and who is a lay person, lay practitioner. And how should you do the practice as a lay person? How should you practice Dharma? And so he gave advice on everything in every situation. Like how do you eat the food? How do you live your life? How do you eat the food? How do you get married? What kind of woman you should get married to, and so forth like that. If we all follow that, we have no chances of divorce.
제가 가로 뒤질라고 손잡았어. 제가 양들도 조바 공부하는 남조야 지지래 그 따와가 나 조바 공부가 아직까지 류스로 가로 소 로그미어서로 소소래 보험에서 들어가 되는 싸우는 말에.
And then sometimes people might have misunderstanding about practicing patience. If I practice patience, then people think I'm a coward. Or if somebody says something bad to you and you just listen and don't react, then people might think you are a coward. You're not able to fight back. But it's not like that at all. That is a mistake, and we're not talking about that.
So 검사들 장고르지 마무스도 주도 거냐. 미니 투바쇼와이나 control myself at the Ganzo Huma Pevel control Tubajana, Zombosho, and there. There's something they want mission in my origin or Shangiro. Jason, they show in a Tata sugar that the sugar is. That day, Kurosa, then Shuna, Kawana, sugar that poor Mare song that thing was Carlos and the Oliver. Kurosa, they want to sim Temboneto Mares.
Like His Holiness also mentioned that when you're angry and you try to do something with anger, it will not be done properly. Like if two people are fighting, they punch each other. Like in Tibet, when they fight, they punch. So nowadays you have so many different tools or devices or weapons like that you can use to fight. But before, like people when a man fights with men, they usually use their fist to punch each other. And then His Holiness said that even when you are like punching somebody, if you do it without anger, then you will punch in the right place. But if when you do it with anger, then you don't really get to punch in the right place. You punch here and there, but you will not get to the right place. And because your mind is very distracted when you are angry.
I think parents sometimes go to Tubasho, email Tubasho,
like in your case, sometimes you fight, right? You fight with each other, or like quarrel with each other, say bad things to each other, and mostly maybe through emails or text messages, right?
제가 데려가려야지. 코로세브가 책 두어 먹을 랍셔네. 저거 코로 마시다 앞에서 나한테는 말하는 따다이 좀 소소 저어지가 그런도.
When you say that, when you say that bad words, say those bad words, with anger, then you don't understand what you're saying. You just say it, right? You just say it. Then later, when the anger has subsided, and then you read through that what you said and say, "Oh, I should not have said that." Then you feel guilty, right, for saying those words.
내가 가도 이도 맨날 코로세브가 나도 가리면 그타고 코반 내면 탑시 정도 코로세브가 아무도 삼시.
So like when we're angry, we just want to say bad things to others, do bad things. We don't think of that this is proper or not. You just want to say or do.
제가 저도 냠뇨요, 저도 냠뇨.
You have that experience?
Yes, Mark. No question.
Yeah, I had a question like what Shantideva says is if you have anger in the present, right, you can destroy like a lot of previous merit. How? What is the mechanism? So like I'm really angry, but like I did so many good things yesterday, last week. How does that? What do they mean exactly by that?
가로. 가서 야무지다 코로케다 좀 해야 돼.
That's some words.
그 니바 주 따서 니바 주 차로 대 코로나는 내제로 차들 근데 치료는 메시로 뒤서로 오지. 제가 코로나 그 저백에 패도 그 관리 그 용차로 온다. 코로나 로나로 온다. 내제로 오지.
Yeah, it depends on how strong is the anger and towards who you get angry towards. If you're somebody who have benefited you a lot, if you get angry towards that person, then you cause harm to that person, right? So that causing harm and hurting that person, right? Is that a demerits, right? And just like that, so Bodhisattva who's always thinking good about you, always caring about you more than your mother, and to that person, if you get angry, that's like that's demerits like that. So like married, it doesn't depends on again on how strong it is, but not all the time it gets destroyed, but it becomes it decreases the potential of the married. And it's also, the married and the anger are like, fire and water. So if you put a water on that, the fire will be, put off or extinguished, just like that. So when you become angry, that extinguishes your marriage.
예전에 추 개와 야보서는 레고 야보데 산이 미야로 소샤이나 그들이 니바 침보 시사 잡는다 니바 티가 온 거야 개와 때 미야 타리 못 찾아 온 거지.
그래서 그도 하고 있어. 가르쳐 차거랬어.
아니
저단 가르쳐 했어. 네 주자 그래서 주자도 뭐 그래야 됐어. this already.
다들 섬다다 그래. 섬다다. 주자도 미세 거면 네 강가 섬다다 거 코나 나 섬다다 찡은 좀 직화며 찾는 것도 어디서 넣어. 뭐 먹게 왔는 게 저걸 티 개베 셈도 코랑 술 받는 거 내가 찾는 거야.
If there's no mechanism, to actually explain or to show, it's like that. When you have a good thought, then the bad thought, goes away by itself. That's like by nature. You don't have to have any kind of mechanism or tools, to make that happen. It is like this by nature. When you have a good thought, the bad thought becomes less, and when you have a bad thought, then good thought becomes less. It's like that.
이제 제가 미치라 가기요나 미들 가대요 칼라 미들 마가로 로치 제가 말해.
Like if you're, if you like somebody, then at that time when you're liking that person, you will not have the thought of disliking that person.
아 다와까지 로까지 제가 좀 미들 stench 마가오잖아. 이칼라 마가로 메와 찾아.
Then, but after some time, you see these problems, or that person said something to you, and because of that, you start to dislike that person. And now that thought of liking that person has gone.
이 대대로 양치 투자가 비단 가서 사고 어디 되네 뭐가 되네 이거만 통해.
It's like that. In other words, there's no like kind of a mechanism or tool, you use to dig, the earth and plant things like that. It's not like that.
내가 데리다 시가 메토 제운도 메토 제나야 데린 산이 메토도 차교 바완로 임바이나야. 그 데리도 지见着이제 야무나 상고야 샤가로 지잖아. 고마 신도관도 야 산이야 발마도 가지고 용도. 제 지금 말하나까지 용문도 뒤손도.
So like the flowers, spring and the springtime, right? And the flowers, you can see flowers everywhere. And so it has a condition, right? So it has to have a condition for it to grow. And if you take away that condition, like if you uproot the tree, or if you do something bad to the soil, then it will stop, from growing that flower.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions? You guys some questions? No, I look there. I look here. You got any questions? Okay.
But how do you deal with people who are both good and bad to you? I mean, someone can do things to benefit, a lot of things to benefit you and be kind in very ways, and then turn around and be abusive, and So how do you deal with that? I mean, because here's someone you don't want to be angry with, but you can't. They keep sort of pushing their buttons. I mean, it's easy to say, "Well, have patience," and you don't get angry, but when the person, the nature of the person is to continually, mentally batter you, basically. So you're getting all these good things, and at the same time, how do you?
Today, 그 야보 저들 까리 곰. 네. 아주 술때 탈이 되는 야술.
Yeah, so that kind of person, so something, if they're doing good to you, then think about their kindness, and then just stay away from that person, so you don't get angry towards that person.
It's not easy, but just try that way. Any, yeah, okay, any? Bob.
So you can be angry you can do angry actions with your body and speech. So is it less negative if you mind is angry, but still with your body and speech, you don't act.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Hey, they are some young chilo matena young northern water.
Yeah, that's definitely so. If you don't do or don't say or don't do something, with your body or speech, then, even though you have anger in your mind, the other person doesn't see that, right? And when you don't do anything, then you will, have less trouble. But if you do something, with your body and say something with your mouth, then you get in more trouble. So definitely better.
Then 제가 강렬한바 그 세마치오처럼 그러더나 미나시랑 만도 파타르 데데 세데 이제 데데.
So that's the reason why you said earlier. So if you are not very happy or you are prone to become angry easily, then better not go along go where there are many people. Just stay away from others. Then you will say you won't say bad things or you won't do that.
Okay.
Still negative when your mind is angry, so that is still negative, but.
Yeah, 데데 제가 코로 사와이나 네게티브인데 그 게다 총을 차거든요. 소리 니바 사거든요. 니바 체줄 때와이나 이때 총으로 사거든요.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. So when you become just by becoming angry, yeah, it's bad. But if you act, say something or do something, then it's even worse. So by becoming angry, yes, it's already bad because it decreases the potential of your merit. So it's already bad. Yes.
나도 리지 이쯤에가 없으면 왔어. 나섬로다 데고 삼다 데데다 코피기 제가 말해. 어때 니바 사대.
Yeah, so it's like non-virtuous actions of your mind. It's just a thought. It's just in your mind, right? You're not doing anything or you're not saying anything, but you're just sitting there, thought going in your mind, and creating negative karma.
다 되게 가르나 아니 리당 나니 당겨다. 내가 제시왔어.
So, but if you go along with that thought, then it's going to command your speech and body to do things. Okay, you go there and do this, so you go there and say this like that.
아 되겠다 니바 못 사겨.
And then through that, then you create negative karma of speech and body as well.
Is Buddhism, Buddhist philosophy say that avoidance can be a good thing? I mean, avoidance can be a good way to practice. So instead of being angry and sitting back, in that case, avoidance is a good thing. Because it's less than acting out.
야, 버렸어. 제가 나도 레 담보 탑시 야하셨지만 다 탑시 제거했어.
Yeah, for beginners like ourselves, that's a good method, But you can't, but you have to practice and reach to the level where even if you are facing the person, then you should be able to practice like that. So because you can't avoid all the time, right? Someday you will be in that situation. Then what? At that time you don't practice passion? No, it's not like that. But for the beginners, it's better to stay away, to avoid that, to stay away. So it will be easier. Then when you get used to that, even if you're in front of your worst enemy, you'll be able to practice patience.
Okay. Yes.
I remember my university professor said, doing nothing is doing something. And I thought that was profound. But with Sister follow-up on Bob's question, you have that in your mind, but you're not acting out. But if the other person knows you're angry at them and they want you to say or talk about it, and you're just avoiding it because you know you're angry. And so, yeah, you want to talk about it, but right now, if I say something, I'm going to do it. It's not going to be pleasant. It might solve it, but so where's the line? Should I just wait until my mind is more calm, or is it better to talk it out quickly? Especially in the West, they say talk it out, right?
It's the Suzu Pena situation diaries. Pena Suzu Suzu, this Suzu diary. Shokini ko Kuruma jumped occasion and Geshe was. Nakaja can't you want to share someone else who jump to the Yundu?
Yeah, it depends, Sometimes you might have to say at that time, it will be more effective. you know, and that will solve the problem. But other time maybe it would be better, you know, to wait till your anger becomes subsided, and then you say it, and then, you know, because you're not angry at that time, and you know, and it will be better, you know, for you to say it in the right way, and then for other person to understand.
남중에도 주바시다 수수고 남이 조보 조모 소소 예사제자 맞아. 나도 타리방도 주바시고 말아.
Usually when we get into a fight or quarrel with somebody, then it's usually people who are close to ourselves, like our friends, our co-workers, our families, like that, right? No, not with a person living across the world. Right?
그래서 다 되는 거는 미팅이 시각하는 것도 망치 신기해.
So so at that time, you know, of course, you know, I mean, you know, the people that we get angry with or we fight with, you know, who are close with us, we know their behaviors, right? We know their, you know, roughly, you know, we know what kind of person are they, and what kind of personalities do they have. We know that roughly, right?
에다 수수고 변화 안에 가고. 걔가 배치다네. 아니 수수 삼당 거다.
So whatever you know, little knowledge, you know, we have about that person. So using that wisdom, and using that understanding of wisdom, then we should act in the right way.
Okay. Any questions you guys have? Are you guys sleeping there? We are working very hard here, physically, mentally. You guys sleeping there? No, I'm just kidding. I can see you guys. But there's no questions there. Yeah, do you have any questions? Okay. Okay, anyway, if no questions, then I think we stop here. Happy Easter. I'm sure you have also spent with your friends, your families. It's wonderful. My best wish for all of you. And please do not, Geshe said, Shantideva said that, don't think said that. Just try to a little bit practice. Just a little bit, you know, meditation. A little bit action. That become definitely really work. Otherwise, we put everything what we need to. We say we have very delicious dinner today. I bought shopping everything in the fridge, but you don't act. You're cooking that you don't get the delicious dinner. It's exactly the same. You have very good education in your mind about Buddhism or compassion or whatever, but you don't practice, and just your piece of cake in your fridge, you don't get it. This is my own experience. I have something, okay? Okay, thank you. Then we stop. Okay, Gentle Master.
You have page 39 of the Kurukulla Center. That's the Mandala opening. Page 39. Ajin perki jitro mendo kami rabing ji dekin prati sangejin du nekte orati prokuna dajing lacher pashu it's on nani kutse ratenchi nam katrin necho cherge patam uzadem bedrune sansundi growing until mejoshi yedam guram madala Some Kappa's final reverend prayer. From my two collections, vast the space that I have amassed, with the separate for a great length of time, and I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose mind's wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all my lives, Manjushri. May I find the best and complete graded paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by practicing. Using skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I uphold the Buddha's teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or once spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time, by even this graded course to enlightenment completed due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes an effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. A short, long life prayer for His Holiness the Dalai Lama. In that snow mountain encircled land, source of every benefit and joy, may Lord Tenzin Gyatso Chanmezi remain in life till samsara joy. And He spontaneously fulfills all wishes. Om Ni Page 49, we should long life prayer for Lama Zopa Rinpoche. Upsal Chanchi Gelway, and Zin Gelway, Kurukulla Center. Try to always meet with perfect teachers. Your form embodies all Buddhas, your nature is that of Vajradhara, you are the root of the three jewels, homage to you, O Gurus. In short, I seek your blessings, O protector, to be cared for by you from birth unremittingly throughout all my lives, and thus to become your chief disciple, holding every secret of your body, speech, and mind. O protector, please grant that all be auspicious for me to be foremost among your very first circle of disciples wherever you manifest Buddhahood, so that all my temporal and ultimate wishes without exception may be effortlessly and spontaneously fulfilled. In all my lives, never separated from perfect gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Dharma. By completing the qualities of the stages and paths, may I quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. Furthermore, in life after life, may I, pleasing Him in return, be forever fostered by an accomplished Mahayana spiritual master, the source of every virtue, this world and beyond. In His care, may I acquire in Him a firm, unshakable faith, pleasing Him by every means possible, doing nothing even for an instant to disappoint. May my spiritual master impart to me every instruction and every teaching in its entirety. Having understood them faultlessly, may I practice them and be able to bring them to perfection. May I never even for a moment fall under the sway of malevolent teachers and misleading friends. Having developed in every life belief in cause and effect, renunciation, the Bodhi mind, and the pure view, may I embark upon them continually with effortless experience. In every life, may every virtuous act gathered by way of body, speech, and mind be causes solely for the welfare of others and for the purest and highest enlightenment. Page 57, prayer of dedication. Through this virtue may I swiftly, having gained Guru Buddha state, place each and every sentence without exception in that state. Precious supreme Bodhi mind, may it where unborn arise, and where born never decline, but increase forevermore. 275, say Mark.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you, guys. guys, girls.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you.
Geshe.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you, Geshe. Thank you.
Thank you. Good one. Good day. Happy Easter.